Welcome back, beautiful people. It's your TTA Pro, Mr. O, back with a digital SAT episode. We're going to be focusing on domain number 4, standards of English, or standard English conventions, excuse me, right? So today we're going to be focused on modifiers. So don't forget, in the standard English conventions, you have verbs, you have pronouns, you have modifiers, parallel structure. So today we're going to be focused on modifiers. And so the question is, what is a modifier? What does it do? A modifier describes a noun. So for example, the red car is nice. In the sentence, the modifier is red. Easy until this point. On your digital SAT, you'll be dealing with dangling and or misplaced modifiers, meaning the word described is incorrect. Meaning what? The word described is the incorrect word. What do I mean by this? Well, let's get a bit more complex, right? So we said the red car is nice. We said the word red is a modifier. It's an adjective. However, on our exams, we'll be dealing with phrases. We'll be dealing with ing phrases. We'll be dealing with, like I say, ed, past participle phrases, or we'll be dealing with prepositional phrases, okay? So how do these phrases appear? Well, let's begin with the ing modifier, right? I like to call it the ing modifier for simplicity. Walking in the street, Shams got hit by a bus. Walking in the street, a bus hit Shams. These are two sentences. One of them is correct, one of them is incorrect. You need to be able to identify a deadly modifier. So here, for example, walking in the street, comma, Shams. This is our modifying phrase. It comes with a comma. Was Shams walking in the street? He was. This is correct. Now, if you look at B, walking in the street, a bus hit Shams. Who was walking in the street? A bus? This is incorrect. So on a digital SAT, you need to be careful with dangling and misplaced modifiers. I'll give you another example. Played by billions of people. The soccer, Mohamed Salah was number 1 in soccer. Let's say football, right? For international reasons. Played by billions of people. Football's number 1 player is Mohamed Salah. Let me actually make this font a bit smaller. Played by billions of people. Football is well known the most for Mohamed Salah. See these 3 examples. Now again, in these 3 examples, each sentence has a modifier, right? Where's the modifying phrase? Played by billions of people. This is the modifying phrase. Now, look at the subject of the modifying phrase. The subject of the phrase needs to be correct. And number 1, played by billions of people, Mohamed Salah. Is Mohamed Salah played by billions of people? No, it's illogical. Number 2, played by billions of people. Now, don't be tricked here. Football's number 1 player, right? This is actually the subject. Or this is the subject, player. The apostrophe S moves the subject to the next noun. So here, the player is played by billions of people. Also note, look at answer or sentence 3. Played by billions of people. Football is well known. All right, answer is number 3. So when you're dealing with modifying phrases, number 1, you need to be able to identify the phrase. Number 2, you need to make sure the subject of the phrase is correct, right? Here's another one. Here's another example with a prepositional phrase, right? I climbed up the mountain and into the valley to get to the top, or to get to the peak. I climbed to the peak, up to the mountain, and into the valley. You see, these two sentences a bit more difficult. We have an issue in the preposition, right? Look at the prepositions here. Up the mountain, into the valley, to the peak. Look at the second one. To the peak, up to the mountain, into the valley. Do you see how these two are different? 1 and 2. Number 1 is correct, number 2 is incorrect. Number 2 is illogical. He climbed to the peak. Up to the mountain? No, it needs to be a logical sequence of events. So this is also a misplaced modifier. Why? The preposition is incorrect. He climbed up the mountain, into the valley, to the peak. This would make more sense. So be careful with modifying phrases. Make sure the modifier correctly modifies the subject of the sentence. Go into the practice. If you're watching the video, you learn anything. Mr. Sima.